Welcome to this 8th lesson of the AutoCAD Plan 3D course. Well, today we're going to complete this P&ID. We already have major and minor equipment. We have main and secondary piping. We have valves, but we have annotations and tags and a table that contains the main information of our equipment. But we are still missing the control and instrumentation part and some details about the piping that are required for a P&ID. So let's start with the tag or the annotations of the piping. Here, if I click on this pipe and right-click it, I will have this option, assign tag. So I can assign tags to piping. And well, how does a pipe tag looks? Well, it looks like this. The first thing is its size. In this case, 3/4 of an inch. The specification is about the material mainly. Let's say it's stainless steel 300. The pipeline group service identifies what flows within this pipe. Okay, in this case, well, it's a process. So it's here, general process. Okay, and then the line number. So this is the first line. So let's say 1. And I can as well place the annotation after assigning the tag, and I can have different types of annotations. I'm going to insert a pipeline tag. So look now, I click assign, and now I have to place where the tag is going to be. This is kind of, okay, it's kind of blocked, but I already unblocked it. So, okay, look, the annotation was placed just over the piping. Let's put it here, and let's move it a little this way. Okay, so there it is. The identification of this pipeline is 3/4 of an inch, stainless steel 300, general process number 1. For aesthetic purposes, I may want to move the valve right here, so I can put the tag kind of here, okay? So we're going to do this with all the piping, okay? I'm going to move this valve this way. Now I click here, right-click, assign tag, and let's say they're all going to be SS300. This is general process as well, and it's the second one. Okay, I'm going to assign its tag, and I'm going to move it in order to have it like the more aesthetically placed as possible. Okay, let's say there. I'm going to continue to do so with this line. I'm going to do this with all the, oh sorry, this is the same line. So it's better, I think, to put this tag here. Yeah, it's much better, and to replace this valve. Okay, so we can continue assigning tags to pipelines. Let's say here, assign tag. It's still stainless steel. It's still general process, and it's the third one. Okay, so I assign its tag. We have to be very cautious about where the tag is going to be placed. Okay, in this case, well, I have 3 options. I can put it in this place, or up here, or in the vertical place. I think it's better in the vertical place. Then I have to rotate it. I rotate, okay, select it, and select the angle, and now I'm going to place it right here. Okay, well, I'm not going to assign tags to all the pipes because it's the same, exactly the same we have just did. I'm just going to assign tag to a secondary line, so that you can see that it's not different. So I select the secondary line, right-click, assign tag, and well, it's the same. The specification, let's say it's stainless steel 300. In this case, the group, the product that is flowing within this pipe. Well, let's see what does it is. Well, we would say it's rain, even though it's not. It's the bottom, but we have bottom. Let's say boiled, brine, no. Chemical sewage. We could say this is chemical sewage, okay? And well, let's say this is the number 4, I believe. That's the last one, or the following one. Okay, we place it there. And in this case, I'm going to put it in the horizontal axis. Okay, I'm going to rotate it. There it is. So you can see how this tag is different, because this one does not have a general process or this P, okay, but CHS, which is chemical waste, I believe. Yeah, you can see that here. Chemical sewer, okay. Well, so that's how you put and you assign annotations and tags of piping. Okay, now let's go deep into automation and control parts. For that, we have to open our tool palette here. In this case, I have the ISA standard, and I'm going to work with control valves, which is here, and in lines, I have instrument lines, okay? So let's start, let's say, with the distillation tower, okay? Let's say I want to control the temperature of the top, okay? So I'm going to place, first of all, and I have here the instruments, right? I'm going to go to the instrument in the tool palette, to the instrument tab. I'm going to look for temperature. Well, they are not going to be temperature indicators, but I'm going to look for a symbol that represents the indicator I need. In this case, let's say this one, okay? So I place it here, and I have to assign the tag right now. It's the area 1, okay, or let's say 001. What's the type of this instrument? It's a temperature indicator. So I'm going to look for temperature indicator. Here it is. And the loop number, let's say this is the first one. Okay, but I want it to be like this, 001. And I place as well a notation after assigning tag. And let's put it right here. Okay. So this is our indicator, our temperature indicator. Let's kind of move it right here. Okay. We have to connect it to this pipe because we're going to measure temperature in this pipe, in this line. So I go to the lines tab, I select liter, okay, and I'm going to connect the instrument to the line. Okay, now this signal has to be carried to a controller. So let's look for a controller. Okay, and let's place the controller right here. Okay, now I'm going to say this is area 1. It's temperature controller. Okay, temperature. Well, here I don't have in these abbreviations, I don't have temperature controller. So I'm going just to write temperature controller, TC. Okay, I don't have to be restrained by what it is in the list. I can write another identifications if I'm working with another standard or another abbreviation that works for me or for my company. Okay, so let's put it there and let's place the annotation. Okay, so now I have my temperature controller. I'm going to move the tag and put it this way because I have to connect this temperature indicator with this temperature controller. Okay, I'm going to do that with an electric line. This one, the red one, electrical signal line. Okay, so I connect that from there to here. and there it is, connected. Okay. I may want to add, let's see, let's see. Okay, no, it's not working. Sometimes it may be useful to make some changes, right? Right, attach to a component, detach from component, add a gap, remove gap, straighten a segment, apply corner, reverse flow, join, break, link, unlink, etc. Okay, and in this case, as it is an electrical sign, it does not have a tag. Okay, it can be substituted by another kind of signal, but in this case, I'm right with this electrical sign. Okay, now I have to place a control valve. How do I control the temperature at the top of the column of the tower, the installation tower? Well, controlling the flow of the reboiled product, right, or substance. So I'm going to place a control valve right here. Okay, I place the control valve. Look, I have to place something else. It's different than a normal valve. And what do I have to place? It's annotation. So I'm still in the area 1. It's a control valve, and I'm still in the loop number 1. Okay, I assign it. I have to place also the annotation. Okay, I'm going to place the annotation here. I want it to be rotated, so right rotate, click, rotate that. Okay. There it is. So I have this control valve. And look at this. I can modify my control valve. Look how I select it, and I have these two buttons. The first one allows me to change the shape of the actuator. Okay. I have different options. I have an angle valve, but look, it says not found in spec. It means that for this specification, we don't have, or AutoCAD doesn't have this specification. So I can click check valve, for example, and it's going to change it, but it's not on a specification. Okay, so I can click here again, and well, put, for example, if I want a globe valve, or if I want a general valve. Okay, I'm going to put the general valve, and because of the changes, it changed its color. Okay, so let's have it there. And I also can change the functioning system of it, right? We have different options. We have back pressure regulator self-contained. We have back pressure regulator with external pressure tap. We have a piston actuator. We have manual actuators. We have solenoids. We have rotary motors. We have this one, which is a throttling actuator. And I'm going to leave it just as it is. But I wanted to show you all the different things it has here. Okay, look, if I choose the rotary motor, it's going to change. It's going to have that M letter, which identifies it as a rotary motor. You can put this one, which is going to be like field. I can change it whatever I want for this one, for example. And all of them are going to be different types of control valves. Okay, so I was having this one. And I can also do something else. I can right click and let's see, annotate. Well, I can have all these kind of tags. Okay, I can substitute body, substitute actuator, which already we already did. I can change the end connection if I want it flanged, for example. Look how it changes. It now has flanges. I can have it socket welded, or I can have it welded. Okay, let's say I want it flanged. Okay, and okay, what else do I have? I have properties. So let's see the control valve properties. I can add the description, a comment. No, wait, I have selected two things. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like, let's go back. Let's set the end connection as unspecified. and go to properties. Well, I still have a group. Anyway, I can change its properties right here, okay? Well, so I have now to connect the controller to the control valve. And I can do that in different ways. I can even add a converter, a signal converter, that's going to change the electrical signal the controller is going to send to a pneumatical one, for example. Let's do that. Let's add an instrument. That's going to be field discrete instrument, okay? Let's try to put it aligned with this one. For that, I'm going to draw a guideline. Remember the guidelines, okay? I'm going to draw a line. It's going to be from the middle. Let's activate snap from the middle downwards, okay? And now I can place this one. Well, I must draw another line in order to be thought of in about what we are doing. Okay, so in that corner, I'm going to place the instrument. It's going to be, let's say, field discrete, primarily accessible. Let's put this one. Okay, so it's area 1. The type, it's I don't believe here we have type, because it's let's see, limit alarm, pressure, level, flow, hand switch. Well, no, we don't have it. Let's say it's a converter, signal converter. Okay, I'm just creating this nomenclature, so you don't have to learn about that. Okay, so I'm going to change the location of this tag here. Okay, I'm going to erase the guides. I'm going to go back to the main layer, and now I'm going to connect with electrical signal the converter with the controller, because they communicate themselves through electrical signals. And look here at this gap. The electrical signal goes below the primary line, okay, automatically. I have to do nothing, and I can change it actually. I can also remove a gap, for example. Well, not necessarily in this case, but I can change the way it's drawn. If I go to the project manager setup, remember, and I can like have a kind of loop here or an arc that specifies or illustrates how it jumps over. Okay, but I prefer always this one. Well, and now I will have a pneumatic line that's going to connect the converter with the control valve. So we have okay, I have to click escape. We have here, and look, it's also here the gap, and everything is right. Okay, so we have done our first control loop. Look, something I just did. If I go like very far and I type regen, it will regenerate these lines to adapt them to this zoom. Okay, so look, you can see now that this continuous line and that here there are just two the symbol of pneumatic. But if I go very, very close and here write again regen, look, it changes. Now this line is still discontinuous, but with very little segments, and here are a lot of pneumatics identification. But if I'm going to see the drawing like from this distance, I must go from this distance and write regen, so I can have it like proportionate to what I'm looking. Okay, so that was our first control loop. Let's add another one. Let's go here. For example, in this case, actually I'm just realizing that we missed a line in our previous lesson. So I'm going to draw it right now. Let's move this from here. Actually, there is a secondary line that goes from here downwards to here in that connection. Okay, we have like this recirculation unit. Okay, now we're going to actually, no, I'm going to leave it there. Let's say I want to control the level in this vessel, in this tank. Okay, so I'm going to place an instrument. Let's say here, it's area 1, it's a level indicator, okay, and this is the second loop number. I'm going to assign it, going to assign it the tag. Okay, in this case the tag, well, it's gonna be kind of problematic, its placement, because of how I want to connect this. No, but it's actually, we have a solution, like putting this closer here and moving this here. Okay. Now, well, I have to connect it with a leader. No, with a leader. Okay. So I'm going to come here. As it is a level indicator, it has to take two measurements, right? The upper measurement and the lower measurement. Okay, and there it is, our level indicator, which is going to connect with our controller, our level controller. Okay, let's try to put it centered. Okay, again, this one is a level controller. Actually, look here, it doesn't, AutoCAD doesn't have level controllers, temperature controllers, it just have general controller. Okay, so no, sorry, it's general control valve. So it has, it do have flow controller, level, transducer level. Well, for some reason there is no a level controller, so I'm going to write LC. Okay, it's our level controller, and this one is the second loop. Okay, well, I don't know why the tag was put here. Let's put it right down. Okay, and well, I need a control valve, right? The control valve is going to be right here. It is a control valve, its loop number is the second one. Okay, what happened? Okay, there it is, the name, and well, the tag is very up here. Okay, so I may want to have this rotated, but look what happened if I rotate it. Well, it obviously, like, we could say it goes mad. Okay, but look what happens. Let's compare it with the previous control valve. Look at this one here. You cannot see the blue line inside the valve, okay, because it is well connected. In this case, you can, well, two things. You can see the blue line, but also you can see that it is not properly connected. Okay, so sometimes it is kind of difficult to place control valve in an appropriate way or in an aesthetical way. In this case, I actually can. Okay, let's click Control C, because I can place the controller right up here. It's going to connect through the upper side. Okay, and it's not such a big deal. But look, something that I just realized. Let's go to another valve. Okay, let's say this valve. Look, this valve, if I select it and right click, it has set open and closed state. Okay, so I can say it's normally open and look how it looks like, but I can choose normally closed, and then it will, or it must, regen. Well, it does nothing. Perhaps it's the specification I have here, but in other specifications, I can. It will change. Okay, it will be colored, filled with, in this case, with white, the valve. So I can identify the different valves if they are going to be normally closed or normally open. Okay, and I can do that as well with control valves. Perhaps in ISA this is not used. I'm not sure about the standard at this moment, but I have just showed you how can you change the status of a valve from normally closed to normally open. And even though it's not colored in the drawing, if you are going to add, for example, a valve table, you will, in that table, it will show which valves are normally closed and which valves are normally closed. Okay, so let's continue here with our drawing, with our control loop here. I'm going to connect this one all with electrical lines. Okay, so there it is, the level indicator to level controller, and now from the level controller to the control valve. Okay, going to move this tag so it doesn't it's in the middle of something. Need to put it there, and there it is, our second control loop. Okay, I could add an additional one, and I'm going to teach you something for this. Before doing that, I'm going to create, look at this, I'm going to create another drawing. Okay, it's going to be called P&ID 2. Okay, P&ID 2. Right, now I'm coming here, I'm going back to model and maximize viewport. Okay, actually in the real P&ID there is something missing, and it is the how to call it, the combustion part of this furnace. So I'm going to draw it. It will have an entrance or an input of fuel, and an output of fuel. Okay, and well, in this case I cannot leave like open lines connected to nowhere. I have to do something, right? So I'm going to look for a non-engineering item and add a connector. Yeah, I have two different kind of connectors. This one, it says lines and instrument signal connector. This one that says off-page connector. Okay, I can also add flow arrows. For example, if I want like this line to have an arrow, I can place it, let's say here, but it's not working really well. And let's like invert it, okay, and place it again. There it is. And with that flow arrow, I can identify the flow of the signal. Even though it's not very much used, you can put it or not. There's no such deal. Okay, but let's see. Let's use connectors. Let's connect it right here. Okay. And let's connect the other one right here. Okay. So look at these points. There are these points, they are kind of squares. They mean that there is something that is missing here. Okay, and so does this symbol that means that there is no connection. Okay, because in addition to its graphical illustration, it actually connects one page to another because it's an off connector page. Okay, so I'm going to right click it and go here to off page connector and click connect. Look what's going to happen. Select the drawing to connect. Well, I'm in project 3. The selected drawing does not contain any off-page connectors. Okay, well, something's happening because I actually have another drawing that I just created, right? But I'm going to come here and place one connector here and one connector here, okay? And we're going to say that, well, one of them will be the entrance. No, let's do it right this way. Okay, this is not working. I'm going to erase it and add another connector. Place it right here. Okay. So let's say it's kind of a cycle, right? I'm going to save it. I'm going to check that it is in our project, okay? And I'm going back here. I'm going to save this as well. Go back to model, maximize viewport. Okay, and try to connect it again. Click, right click, off page connector, connect. Let's click here, show, okay, show all drawings. So I'm going to connect with P&ID 2, and this is the drawing I just made, okay? So I click, the selected drawing does not contain any off-page connectors. Must be connected to a line, and the line number must be assigned before they are available. Okay, so I have to add that now, I'll add line number. We have to characterize these piping lines. Okay, so let's do that. Assign a tag. This is specification. Let's say it's S300. In this case, it is fuel gas, let's say. Okay, or yeah, fuel gas. Or we could say it's vapor, actually. Steam condensate, no. Let's see, high pressure steam, perhaps. High pressure steam, here it is. And, well, line, I don't know, it's a number 10. Okay, look at this. I can also place the pipe tag just on the line, and it's going to work. Okay, it's going to look like very neat. So now I have this one, and look here. There is some information in this connector. High pressure steam, right? So by characterizing the lines, I'm going to add the information for the connector. Now I have to do the same with this line. Assign tag. Okay, specification is the same one. This is going to be low pressure steam, right? Low pressure steam. And let's say it's number 11. Okay. Well, let's place that. Let's see something. Okay, there. I can actually place it there, and it's going to be a gap. Okay, now look here. It says low pressure steam. Okay, so let's go to the following place. Now here I have to go to model. Sorry, model, maximize viewport. Okay, I'm going to disconnect this just to make it logical. I'm going to place here heat exchanger. Okay, let's say it's yeah. Well, let's set as the number 5 because the number 1 already exists. Okay, and this heat exchanger will heat the low pressure steam and convert it into high pressure steam. So I have to add another one, another off-page connector, place it there, okay. And well, also assign tags to these lines. This one is low steam, low pressure steam, and it's the line number 13, okay. And this one, assign tag, it's going to be, well, the same, SS300. This is high pressure steam, H, high pressure steam, and this is the 13, if I'm not wrong. Oh, I'm wrong. 13, okay, let's place the ID there. Okay, now look here, it says HS, LS, so we are advancing in this task of connecting one page with another. So now let's go again. Right click of page connector, connect, and look, show all drawings, and 2 must be connected to a line, and the line number must be assigned before they are available for selection. Okay, here's something weird. Okay, the connector number to tracing drawing area. Okay, cancel. We're missing something. Let's see, properties, description, comment, connector number. Let's say this is the number 1. Origin or destination, it goes from boiler. Okay, hyperlink. No, I'm not buying hyperlink. Okay, look here, now it has a number. Okay, and it says from where it comes. Let's do the same with this one. Properties, connector number, this is a number 2, and its destination is it goes to boiler. Okay. Comment, well, I actually can add a comment right here. For example, I don't know, let's say pod, but it's not going to be shown right there. Okay, so now I can come here, select this one, or go again to model and maximize viewport, select this one, properties. It's going to be this is the second, and it comes from furnace, right? This is the first one, properties, it goes to furnace, and it's the connector number 2. Okay, so let's try to connect them now. We're just missing one information, okay, for them. It already has what is the fluid, or what's the substance, the connector number, and the origin or destination. So let's see if now I can connect it. I'm going to connect this one. Yeah, well, it's still not working. It's not going on. So let's see. This happens all the time, right? So, let's see. This icon indicates that the OPC is not currently connected to another drawing. It has an line attached to it. If an line were not attached to it, there will not be an icon displayed. Okay, so it means that if I want that icon to disappear, I can disconnect this. Well, in this case, I cannot. But then use the help. And also I can teach you how to use the help. Let's say I'm having this problem of not being able to connect one connector to the other one, okay? Because, well, for some reason, it doesn't allow me. So I can click here, help. And it's going to open this window of help. Also, I'm taking advantage to tell you and to recommend you to always save your documents as many times as possible, okay? So the keyword is going to be off. Oh, yeah, here it is. Off page connector, connect, right? That's what we are doing. And look here in this option, there is like a list of connectors they can use. So it says, select drawing, displays a list of project drawings from which you select a drawing that contains a complementary off page connector. When you select a drawing, it was available in the top row, display, okay. Preview displays a select of page connector. You can use your mouse to pan and zoom in. List possible connectors based on the most likely choice, based on match of tag, line number, service size, and so on. At the top, the gray rows contain. Okay, perhaps I have to match this number 13, number 14. Perhaps I have to match the line numbers. Could be. If this one comes from boiler, it means that it's this one. So let's say this one is not 14. Okay, let's go to model space. Sorry, maximize viewport. It's not 14. Here. Okay, I wanna edit this tag, right? This is the 10 line. No two schematic line groups can have the same tag. Sure, this tag is unique. Okay, well, it's not the problem. So, well, I'm going to pause right here, and when I have solved this, I'm going to explain you how to solve this, right? Pretty well, I found out that there are some issues with off-page connectors, and they will depend on the project setup you have chosen. So, the characteristics, let me show you just for you to learn that. Here, in previous versions of AutoCAD Plan 3D and AutoCAD P&ID, here you could find all of the available off-page connectors, even though they weren't properly configured, right? Now, they have like this restriction that only off-page connectors that are fully set up are going to appear here. But we have verified that there is a problem, which is that even though they are completely characterized, they are complying with all of the requirements to be fully operational, they are not, okay? So you must try this by yourself. Perhaps in the version you have, it works. Perhaps it doesn't. Anyway, when you print it, if you're going to print this, this symbol of not connection is not going to be shown. So you will have just this, which says this carries high pressure steam. This is the first connector. It comes from boiler and it goes to the furnace. And then this as well carries low pressure steam. It goes to boiler. Okay. Well, so let's see. I believe that we have just finished with pipe tagging, off-page connectors with this apparent issue that has my AutoCAD version, and control and instrumentation. Okay, let's see some other things that I have here. I have these other connections that may be useful for you. Okay, there are open drains, utility connectors. This is the same than this connector. You have closed drains, you have segment breakers, you have gaps. Let's try a gap, for example. That's a gap, okay? For what does a gap works? Look, for example, let's say, yeah, let's make an example. Let's add here this kind of big. Let's say it's 30, okay? Let's scale this gap. Let's say that one. Now let's copy that this way. And let's imagine we have lines that are going through, or that are going behind, actually, behind this heat exchanger, right? So I will just draw this gap. Perhaps I wanted to erase this line. So it would show me how I can place an object that is in front of or above another line, okay? Well, what else do we have here? This connection breaker, well, it isn't actually, doesn't have actually more to do. You just can add comments and they're not going to show on. Okay, they may be useful for your drawing. You have connectors, well, you have these kind of symbols, which are very small, as you can see. The computer got stuck. Let's wait for it to react. Okay, so I'm showing you other symbols that may be useful. And with this, we already have a complete PFD, a complete P&ID. Well, in this case, we just miss some pipe tags that it will be very repetitive if I do all of them because it's the same process. Okay, so in case this doesn't react, that's why I advise you to save constantly your work, because of this blockage, you could lose some information and some drawing and some work. We don't want that. So keep in mind that you have always to save. And well, let's say if it doesn't react, we can finish for now because we already saw what was intended for this lesson. And the following lessons are going to be about 3D modeling. So now we are finished with 2D drawing and we are going to 3D model. Okay, it reacted. So before doing that, we can see some of this information. I can add the symbol for gravity flow, sample connections, and also, well, I have more instruments. They can also add fittings, for example. Well, we already saw valves. The equipment is going to be upon your request, program needs. And here we already saw the different lines. So thank you for being here. Sorry for this issue that has my AutoCAD version that doesn't allow me to fully connect these connectors, and I hope you can do so. So well, see you in the following lesson where we're going to start with 3D modeling. Oh, just wait. Before doing that, perhaps you want to print this, right? It's common to have to print it. So let's go to output. In output, you have to first page setup manager, click that. You'll have this like default information. You're going to click modify. And here you can choose, well, what's the plotter? Let's say I want to generate a PDF, sorry. Let's say for web and mobile. Okay. Here I can choose the style. Let's say I want it monochrome, just black and white, or I want it grayscale, or if I want it like in color, I just leave it as it is, P&ID. So let's say I want it, let's say grayscale, okay? And well, I already configured this. Let's say I want it in the portrait orientation, or no, a landscape orientation, okay? I close here, and now I export it to a PDF, okay? Let's say I want it in my desktop, right? Let's save it. It will generate this PDF. Look at this. It is in black and white, okay? And it says plot and polish job complete, no errors or warnings found. Now let's go to the P&ID we just generated, and it's here in our PDF, okay? I can make zoom, and you will see all the tags that also have information, okay? You will see all the equipment. You can see here the difference between a primary line and a secondary line, okay? Well, as I choose grayscale, the instrumentation isn't very clear, but you can change that, printing it in monochrome, just monochrome, okay? So this is how it looks, full P&ID when you have exported it to a PDF or even to, well, to plot it. And in case you need any table, any information, we already saw how to export that, right? We saw here in the data manager how I can export tables of equipment, of hand valves, like check valves, globe valves, and general valves, okay? We already did that. We did this because we exported a table of equipment to Excel and then created this table from that Excel document. I can also have tables of instrumentation, of all the instrumentations, of general instruments or any kind of instruments, the control valves, the lines, if I want a table of lines, if I want a table of primary lines and secondary lines, if I want a table of electrical signals, of liters, of pneumatic signs, of nozzles, both assumed and flashed, okay? Well, the different actuators of page connectors, I can also have them. Well, flow arrows is not very useful. So here you can generate all these tables that I haven't showed them. So now this is for real. We have finished with this lesson. Many thanks again. Sorry for the inconveniences. Hope you have the appropriate version and you can work with that. And well, see you in the following lesson where we're going to start with 3D modeling.